Hi, my loves. It's Jeray Malay, the girl from around the way, where we have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to y'all with some commentary about your boy 50 Cent and Diddy and Marlon Wayans and everybody else who is deciding to jump on this bandwagon that is the very viral, critically acclaimed Netflix documentary, The Reckoning. Okay. Everybody and their mama has had something to say about this, myself included. You know, it's the gift that keeps on giving, so to speak, right? Um, I don't know why when I come live or whatever, it creates two different lives. But um yeah, I wanted to come up here and really kind of just get into this really quickly because so many people are having a lot to say about the documentary and what it actually means. We've seen Gene Dill go on The Art of Dialogue and pop his, you know what I mean? One thing about Gene, he's gonna pop it. I think it's very interesting though to see how um, a lot of what he said actually is true. I was watching some of those videos from back in the day, about 8 months ago, even 3 years ago, and now we know that half the shit he was saying was actually very true. Who knew? Who knew that that's what it was going to give? Um, so before I get started, let me just make sure that this is on because I don't want to have any issues with this. I don't see it's live. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Well, I know y'all can't see me, but okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's on. Yeah, so everybody is having a little something to say about the documentary. The Breakfast Club, Lauren LaRosa, everybody's reporting on who said what, and Charlemagne is saying, "Well, how come nobody said anything when white people was making documentaries on it?" Harvey over at TMZ had made a docu series on him, and nobody gave a damn. Now suddenly everyone cares, and so the first person that I want to get into is it's going to be Marlon Wayans. I think that Marlon, if you guys remember back in the day, Diddy had a line that said there was something alluding to the fact that Keenan was maybe a little GAY. He said something like, uh, gay is ask my brother Keenan, something like this or whatever. Diddy, not Diddy, whatchamacallum had a line. Uh, whatchamacallum had a line. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all know what I'm talking about, drop it in the chat or drop it in the comments, depending on when you're watching this. But oh yeah, he said, ask my brother Keenan. However, something like this. He was talking about them being GAY. So I don't know why Marlon is on this heel about, well, Diddy and this, that, and the third. So we're going to get into his commentary. And then we're going to go into what Ja Rule has to say about it. And if some people pop in, I kind of want to hear from you guys. What do you think about it? Like, do you feel that people are being overly critical because it is coming from 50 Cent? Does that discredit his storytelling abilities? Also, too, I'd like to know what you think as far as like a lot of people keep talking about 50 Cent, but I want to highlight the fact that Alexandra Stapleton is an executive producer on this, guys. He isn't the only one who who produced this. So can we not keep saying, oh, it's a 50 Cent thing, it's a 50 Cent thing, because there were other people involved. This was obviously a project that involved a black woman too. So I just don't like how people are so quick to just jump to, oh, well, 50 Cent is on this and, we should discredit him. Because listen, a broke clock is right twice a day. And I think it's important to consider the messenger button. However, girl, if the shoe fits, that's where we had Gene Dill, somebody who was his paid security guard for years, come out and pretty much say half the things that they said in the documentary to begin with. So again, if you're new here, stick around, like this video, hype this video, okay, so we can kind of get things going and moving and grooving into the algorithm, and also too just to continue building the community. All right, that's what it's given over here. um yeah, that's what it's given over here. And if you're new, we talk about popular topics, hot topics, popular commentary in a way that helps us reshape and reframe our paradigm so that way we can live the life that we deserve. Now, I'm going to play what Marlon had to say about this, and I'm going to play the entire clip so we have a full understanding of what was actually said. And then I'll come back and we'll discuss. All right, why is this not playing? I cannot even hear this, guys. 1 second. All right, you live with the. Ooh. Oh, hey, the boxing scholar. Oh, volume. Yeah, no, the volume was up. Mm. 1 second, let me figure it out.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
but you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have?
I could create a narrative.
Well,
I
we
could be
see it all the time on reality shows.
Huh?
Like,
Nah,
on
yeah,
reality
that's right.
shows,
Yeah,
that's
you-
how
you're
they
creating
you write
a
a
narrative.
character.
It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with
I've known
Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
in the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
but you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have?
I could create a narrative.
Well,
I
we
could be like,
see it all the time on reality shows.
Huh?
Like,
Nah,
on
yeah,
reality
that's right.
shows,
Yeah,
that's how
you're
they
creating
you write a
narrative.
character.
It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. We ain't baby all close. I can get footage, and I could make you think
Okay.
this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
Well, people are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is going to.
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do. I can get footage.
Now, this is what 50 Cent had to respond. He basically said, keep my name out your mouth, boy. And it was a picture of him dressed as a woman and in whiteface. Okay. And, Marlon Wayans recently responded with 12 years of slave. I don't know. I don't understand why that reference. If somebody understands that, please let me know. Now let's think. Now let's think about this, 50. I don't understand what that means. I don't know why. I don't think that a Marlon and 50 Cent beef is something that I want to see on my bingo card. One, Marlon is funny as shit. And 50 is not that comical. He's like funny in like a sinister way. Marlon is a clown, okay? Marlon would literally chew him up. They both have been in this industry long enough to have, buried the bodies and have people come out and say things. But what I don't, okay, so I'll start what I do like about what he said. Marlon saying that, he can control the narrative depending on what it is that you see, what it is that you don't see. It's no different than when people have, scientific research. They can change the graphs. Remember when, those people, Purdue family was doing the Oxycontin and they had like, oh yeah, listen, look at the graphs. It doesn't show, any signs of addiction. You won't get addicted. Da 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 da. But the whole time, they were changing the graphs, they were changing the study pool, and you can kind of manipulate in that way. He's not wrong in saying that. What I have an issue with is Marlon using language like, oh, he's down on his luck right now. Diddy is down on his luck. Diddy is, he's kicking him while he's down. Because what exactly are you talking about, sir? That man, if you didn't see, he was a villain. He was a monster. He has abused and allegedly SA'd multiple people, men and women. Down on your luck? Down on your luck, girl, the lights got cut off, your card stopped working, your man was cheating, you got to move back in with your big mama and them. That's down on your luck. Some things that is outside of you, or whatever the case. That's more than being out, down on your luck. I think it's that narrative that is very telling and dangerous in my opinion, because it's like, well, where do you stand with things? I don't see Diddy's situation being down on his luck. I think that he's getting exactly what he deserved. Not even exactly what he deserved. I think he deserves more time than what he actually got, to be honest with you. But we saw him brutally beat Cassie. So many people have come forth. And at the minimum, it's more than down on his luck. It's more or less him being consumed by the chaos he has created. So with him using that type of language, Marlon, then it's letting me know that you have some sort of allegiance to this. He has gone on record and said, hey, listen, I've been to those parties. I've never seen him do those kind of things. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, Marlon. Just because you've been to those parties and you didn't see those kind of things doesn't mean that it didn't happen, Marlon. Okay? And so for you to come out with this elevated voice that you have, with this platform that you have, and go on and say, well, I didn't see it. So that doesn't mean that it happened. Just because you didn't see it, there are multiple people who did see that, who did go through that, right? Little Rod being one of them. Apparently, allegedly, Aubrey O'Day, one of them. People from Day 26, a whole bunch of them. So why do you continue to go on and say, oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. It's like you don't have to say anything, Marlene. It's like you are making it a point to align yourself with this man. Why? You don't have to. You're rich, you're wealthy. Not even you're rich, you're generationally wealthy. Why are you going out of your way to align yourself with him? Okay? That's rubbing me the wrong way. It is. I ain't gonna lie. What y'all think about it? What y'all think, Box and Scholar? I see you in here. You like 50 though. Now Marlon and 50 got beef. I hope not. Now, another one who is on 50's heels is Ja Rule. Okay. It's no surprise why Ja Rule would be on him. But here's the thing, too, guys. Like when somebody makes a move like this and it disrupts what we understand as the hip hop industry as a whole. This shook the industry to the core. I'm sure it has. That's why Russell Simmons' ass is somewhere over there in Bali right now to this day. Okay. And I think it's given like you're ratting and you're cinching on a different level, because now we're we all might be exposed, but somebody got to do it. If 50 Cent is strong enough and willing enough to be like, I ain't got no like this in my closet, I'm gonna just go for it. I'm sure he had to calculate all aspects. But let's get into what Ja Rule had to say. Okay. So he posted and took to Instagram and basically said, let's be clear, this ain't about Diddy. He's already in jail serving time as he should be. Okay, Ja Rule, at least you giving a disclaimer. Okay, at least you giving a disclaimer. This is about this sucker Curtis acting like he's hip hop moral savior, going on TV with them tight nasty suits and those big jughead when you're no different, allegedly. I wonder when it's wrong when they look so happy together. Huh. Okay. Ja Rule, because what you trying to say, brother? What you getting at? So he also posted a whole bunch of, headlines about 50 Cent on from Vibe and New York Post. One of which says 50 Cent's Long Island home burns down. They said that the grandmother and the grandpa was he burnt the house down or something like this. I don't know, child. The mother 50 Cent's child accused the rapper of trying to burn them to death after suspicious fire. Ex-girlfriend Holly, after she told it and accused her of physical abuse, sharing a photo of alleged text messages, conversations, and manipulating woman beater. Okay, so birds of a feather flock together. Would I be surprised that 50 Cent has hit a woman? No. Would I be surprised if Marlon has hit a woman? No. Would I be surprised if any of them niggas in the industry hit a woman? No. Especially during a very misogynistic era, especially, I don't want to say at the height, but definitely a pinnacle moment during the hip hop era as we know it in our generation. I'm sure they was all doing a little something. Ja Rule says, I think I'm going to start doing docs. There's a lot to unpack here, allegedly. Well, you start with Irv Gotti pulling up on Ashanti at 17 or 19 years old, or however old she was. And I just feel like y'all are using the wrong opportunity to come up against 50 Cent, and it's given y'all just hate women. Y'all just hate women so bad. Y'all much rather like, oh well, like let's just get them now. Let's just attack 50. Never mind that there is a black woman who is attached to this as executive producer. What's her name? Alexandria Stapleton. I'm gonna keep saying her name so I get it right. Alexandra Stapleton. You understand what I'm saying? So like, why are y'all so pressed on this man and his documentary? Oh, he put story to tell. Oh my God. He tried to kill me and his own child, Shaniqua Thomas, 31, who miraculously survived suspicious 4 a.m. blaze, which leveled their 2.4 million mansions home. Oh wow. Oh wow. A fire that bad that leveled a $2.4 million home. That's interesting. Now that is a little interesting because wait a minute. What's good, sir? We would love to fund this doc for you and any others you want to create on Icon. Okay, so Icon must be something a TV show or TV streaming show or something like this. 50 Cent responded to his post by sharing a 2020 clip of Gene Dill speaking on an alleged incident involving Diddy and Ja Rule. Okay, Gene Dill always got some
I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bro, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothered him. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed it and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Gene, that's my cousin. He know me well, and Puff's like, yo, Gene, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing.
Okay, so is Gene saying that they was in there getting freaky together or what? What was he trying to get at? I don't know. 50 Cent is saying this is why they got so much to say about me because they was in there together at the same time, one band, one sound. Don't listen to these weirdos, yada yada yada. I just think that it's corny and y'all, it's getting lost on y'all because it's coming from 50 Cent. About all of the heinous things that happen. I don't give a good goddamn. I don't care if Oscar the Grouch came out and said this is what happened. Who cares if it was a Sesame Street Muppet who came out with this information? The shit have to be exposed. Period. Point blank. And who am I to stand in the way of this? Now Marlon is going on and back and forth in this and the third. Let's get into this, Marlon, because you about to piss me off. All of this. Kicking the man while he's down. Meanwhile, you just paying for the sins that you created and you living in the chaos you created. Come on, Marlon. What you got to say?
Zero. Good day. Zero. Good day.
Okay, so he's just out enjoying life at the golf course where he should have been any damn way as far as I'm concerned. Just enjoying my life and something cigars. He's promoting whatever he's promoting. Calm before the storm. For the record, I don't condone any abuse of women, period. Okay, how about abuse of women and men? Financial abuse as well, right? Let's not get stuck on the one thing. This is what the public does. They get stuck on one thing. Oh well, he's not on trial for domestic violence, right? He's not on trial for domestic violence, but you're missing the bigger picture because you're stuck on one thing, right? We're not talking about just the abuse of women. Of course, that was a part of it. We're talking about the abuse of men too. We're talking about, financial abuse of multiple artists, creatives and artists. Dreams stole from them, and not just people we don't know, like Little Rod. I'm talking about Mace. I'm talking about Craig Mack. I'm talking about all them niggas. They wasn't getting paid. But you see how we shrink it down into I'm just not here for the abuse of women. He was a tyrant and not a good businessman. He was a scam artist. And he is moving like he's a part of the PR machine that Diddy is employing into media spaces with language like this. Anyway, let me finish up. Unlike some people who have a track record of domestic violence, I got 5 sisters and a mother I honor. I rep us always. Don't let anyone create narratives. Marlon Lamont Wayans is an exceptional man. Good day, Curtis. Girl, good night. Literally. Um, Trendy Chef says, I'm a fan of Marlon, so I'm saying this with respect. Please leave 50 alone. He will tell us things about you that we never knew. Okay, Marlon? Because what is it? Um, I don't know anyone. I don't know how anyone could stand up for Diddy with the image of him kicking that girl in the hallway. Yes. Like what are y'all getting out of this? What are y'all getting out of this? That's the whole thing. Y'all know Marlon ignorant too. He is. He is. Oh God. Just can it, man. You defending the wrong person. And that's the whole thing. Y'all about to go at each other over Diddy. Over Diddy. This is not the first Diddy documentary. They just mad it's the 50 version. And this is my point, y'all. Everybody's like, oh, you talking about this black man and he did this and he did that and this, that, and the third. And you kicking a black man while he down and down on his luck, according to Marlon. That's the craziest part. He's down on his luck. But nobody said anything when Harvey from TMZ did his shit. Ain't nobody bat an eyelash. Now that 50 Cent's involved, everybody got something to say. That's the shit I'm talking about, the hypocrisy with some people. Like, no. And it doesn't matter if it's a black man or not, y'all. Sometimes you got to let that shit go. This is the same narrative that keeps us, at the Thanksgiving table with somebody who was a predator, who has caused physical harm, because we got to stop tearing black people down. When people say that, it literally reminds me of that. It is so just an outdated way of living. Nobody cares about that anymore. It's like Big Mama telling you telling her, yeah, so and so uncle did that to me. And Big Mama turn around and tell you, a child, well, you trying to disparage a black man. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong, y'all. Please, let's back away from that. That is so old school. That is so, like brush it under the rug, and this is why people continue to get harmed. This is how this cycle continues. We keep perpetuating this type of behavior because we just brush it under the rug because we don't want to tear no black person down. Shit, if that black person is a terrorizer, a psychopath, a narcissist, and a serial killer or serial rapist, tell some damn body. Y'all pissing me off, and it's late. With all this old Medea play and the black man, and girl, please. When it comes to what's right, it that should not matter anymore. Gone are the days where we are considering that. Let's get into what else they had to say. Everybody is like, but you defending Diddy. You defending Diddy, girl. It's looking a mess. It's looking a mess. It's looking a mess. Somebody said Josh still fighting for public opinion.
We ain't baby oil clothes.
Okay.
But
He said we ain't baby oil clothes. Okay, so you just feeding into it. Yeah, I just feel like, it's corny. Everybody has something to say, because it's 50 Cent and everybody wants to come out and do their own thing, and that's fine and well. They can't just get him in his just do and keep it pushing. They want to mention Dr. Dre, they want to mention this, that, and the third. But the whole time is I'm curious to know how many people were complicit with this type of behavior. Right. And I'm sure 50 Cent probably was complicit as well, because here's the thing. It seems like if you didn't have enough power or influence to go at him, wasn't shit done anyway. You was about to get kicked upside your head and your car burnt down. So yeah, I'm not feeling it, Marlon. Ja Rule, I understand why you feel like you need to go at him. But I just feel like when is enough going to be enough? I mean, I guess not. It's 50 Cent, so it's to be expected. He done trolled him so bad and I want to say bullied him now. This is giving bullying now at this point, 50. But Marlon, I don't want you out here defending this man like this. He don't need no defending. He said, God told me not to move, so I guess he told you was the one that needed to move, huh? Yeah. That's all I got. At the end of the day, this documentary has really showed me how many people really have grossly underestimated people's desire to have proximity to success and money. People will walk away from all of their values. People will ignore how they were raised. People will ignore their gut feeling, their intuition, just to get close to a motherfucker with a big pocketbook. Okay? Just to get close enough. I just want to be close enough that I can smell it, that I'll just disregard and abandon myself. And I'm here because I want everyone to know, under the sound of my voice, nothing, no check, no dollar amount is bigger than your integrity. It's not worth it. You might have to forego some instant gratification right now, but in the long run, it will be worth it. Whether that means you don't go through harm, whether that means that you'll get the bigger bag in the end. It may mean different things for different people, because that applies across the board. Your integrity is not for sale. Okay. Let's start normalizing that. Let's start telling our truths. Let's start walking away from situations that we know is maybe potentially harmful to us just because a check is involved. That is a trick of capitalism, girl. That's why it got us up here on this hamster wheel, and I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. I gotta make it to the daycare. I gotta, because as we are in this cycle, we're in this trick, and when we're on a one-to-one personal relationships, your interpersonal relationships should not have that same feeling. Okay. When people are doing that, that's called financial abuse. There's control and manipulation. If it's a friend that's doing it, if it's a nigga that's doing it, if it's your homegirl, your auntie, or whoever, that's not healthy. On a bigger level, on a smaller level. So the boxing scholars say for $1 billion, you catching a body. So that means you doing the bending? Uh-huh. Come on up here. So that means you doing the bending for $1 billion. I'm catching a body. That's what they do. Now, a lot of people do that. Oh, I'm not gay. I'm gay for pay. Whatever that means. Oh, you quiet now. You quiet now. Drop that link. Nope, I ain't dropping it. We're gonna have to set up a time. I'm on my you will see now it's hell no. Exactly. Exactly. You ain't doing that. So everything is not can't be bought. Sometimes, what he say, P. Diddy wanted party, and you got to tell him no. It's gonna be a couple of things, a couple of people that's gonna proposition you with shit, and you gotta tell them no. From the big things, from the small things. No. And be ready to stand on it. And from the looks of it, a lot of people ain't doing it. A lot of people ain't they just wanting to go, whatever. You gonna say you see how you do me. No, I do want to know your opinion though. We're gonna talk about it. We gotta set up a time. Let's try to are you gonna be free tomorrow? And we can talk about some things talking like, oh, I didn't like it. I'm sure. I'm sure it's something you ain't like. Yeah, but I'm gonna go for now. We can talk about it. I'm gonna hit you, Scholar. We're gonna get into some things. But if you're here, you caught the live. I appreciate you. I hope you are doing what you need to do. Okay. Keep your head up. Keep your chest out. All right. And don't be afraid to tell people no when it comes to your integrity at the end of the day. All right. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hype this video if you like this type of commentary and content. All right. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.